Just 3 days ago, I predicted this 6-figure trade, but not by myself. I did it in front of 10,000 traders live on a YouTube stream, as you guys can see right here. And in this video, I'm gonna show to you exactly how that happened. I'm gonna break down the whole entire trade and how you can actually learn from it so you don't miss out on a trade like this ever again. But I'm going to explain it to the T and how these 10,000 traders on that stream caught the same trade as me. So first things first, how did this happen? Well, it all started on the live stream that I did here on YouTube for free, where I pretty much gave students an insight on my Sunday swings, which is what I do every single Sunday with my students, where I pretty much break down all of the markets, and I pretty much break down about 10 to 12 markets. And out of those 10 to 12 markets, I pick the top 2, top 3 markets that I'm going to be trading for the week ahead. And that's where I ended up finding NZD/USD. And NZD/USD checked off on everything that it looks when it comes for me to be taking a trade. It had the trend, area of interest, and then most importantly, the entry signal. The reason why I'm going to actually be entering the trade. And that is because only when I have these 3 things together, I have an edge over the market that 80 to 90% of the traders in the industry do not have. Even if I were to have 2 of them, I still have an edge, but not as strong as it should be. So on that live stream, pretty much what I did is I spotted NZD/USD on the early stage of completing the second step, meaning that the price had the trend that was bearish and it was approaching an area of interest. All I had to wait for was for it to approach it and for it to actually have the entry signal. And how it all came about is when I was analyzing on that stream, I saw NZD/USD was headed to becoming one of these trades to have all of these 3 reasons for me to take the trade. It already had the trend, it was already bearish, but now it was approaching the area of interest where then the next step would be the actual entry signal. So it was a trade that I forecasted that was going to happen beforehand because I saw these 3 things coming together in the upcoming hours or in the upcoming days. And as you're about to see in this next upcoming clip, everything is explained to the T beforehand and how I forecasted the trade coming up in the next couple of hours. Oh, and before I keep going, hit the subscribe button. You guys just missed out on the live stream where I just gave out this trade for free. If you hit the subscribe button, you'll be notified on the next time I do one again for free. So if you don't subscribe, you're gonna miss out on these trades that I give out for free every single time. So hit the subscribe button. So as of right now, NZD/USD, waiting for trade, area of interest, then supply entry signal. This is literally what we are waiting for on NZD/USD. Waiting for a little pullback like this, so then we can actually look to sell the trade. Now, if this makes sense, put a 1 in the chat. If it does not, put 2. And I'm gonna speed things up now. I just get really passionate about trading. Like I just really like this shit, so I get really deep into it. But I'm gonna speed things up and we're gonna go through all these markets probably in the next 5-10 minutes. And I'm gonna break down the giveaway for you guys. I'm giving away $30,000 on this stream right now. Like, I don't think you guys understand. What guru out there will be at literally, tell me what guru out there will be at, bro, it's 2 in the fucking morning. So, bro, it's literally, look, I'm just gonna show you guys. What guru at 2 in the morning will literally be giving you guys this much value? Hold on, you guys can't even see it because it's not focusing. But it's 2 in the morning. What guru will be giving you this value at this time, and on top of that, give away $30,000? Nobody. None of these guys have the courage to do this shit. I have an open chat, literally no mods. I'm not kicking anybody out because I have nothing to hide. Literally everybody in the chat is happy. So with that being said, let's actually go into the market and break down this trade to the detail, and pretty much how I hit my take profit so perfectly and why I did not continue to hold this trade, where pretty much I would have lost all the profits that I would have made on this market that I predicted to the T. So as you can see, this market right here is literally 2 days after this actually happened. So I did the stream about 3 days ago on Sunday, right before the market had opened. And as you can see, this is the exact same text that I actually wrote on that live stream, and it is that NZD/USD. I was waiting for the trade to go to the area of interest, and then I would apply the entry signal. So to give you guys a little bit of context and make this very simple, this is what pretty much NZD/USD looked like. The market was heading to the upside, it had a bullish trend, and then the market shifted to the downside. Now this market right here in this case scenario is bearish. So that is the first thing that I need when it comes to taking a trade. I need to have the trend in my favor before I do anything else. So first things first is going to be trend. And we already spotted this trend that is going to be bearish. Now I know that I'm only going to be looking for sells and nothing other than sells. This makes it very easy when going to click the buy or the sell button. You pretty much just narrow down the odds of you losing to very slim, because it simply makes more sense to sell rather than to buy. And you should know that there should be no reason why you should look to buy if the trend is bearish, so you only look for reasons to sell. This makes it a lot easier for you to come to the decision on whether you should buy or sell. So now that we understand that the trend is bearish, and we understand that this is a head and shoulders pattern, as you can clearly see, we have a left, a head, and a right shoulder. This is obviously a reversal pattern. Head and shoulders patterns indicate to you that the market is then going to reverse. So if you have a head and shoulders at the top of the trend, that means that that trend is now going to shift bearish. And then if you pretty much flip it around and you have an inverted head and shoulders at the bottom of the trend, that pretty much indicates to you that lower low trend is now going to shift to being a bullish trend. So as you can see over here on NZD/USD, we had a very clear indication of this head and shoulders pattern that is happening at the top of the trend. And the only way you can have a confirmed head and shoulders pattern is once and only we shift and break the neckline of the head and shoulders. Very perfect example is going to be an example like this. This is not a valid head and shoulders. Why? Because we have not broken the neckline of it. And then this market from here can just go to the upside, and it's a false head and shoulders. It's a fake out, whatever you want to call it. It's not a valid head and shoulders. The only way you have a valid head and shoulders once we completely break through the neckline of that head and shoulders. And as you can clearly see here on NZD/USD, that is exactly what has happened. Clearly broken through that neckline of the head and shoulders. But that is where the strategy comes in and the way that I trade. And it's now that we've confirmed and the market has shown us its hand first, confirming that now not only are we bearish, but that the reversal pattern is actually valid. Now is when I can actually be interested in the trade, because the market has shown me its hand first. A common mistake that a lot of these traders make is that they want to predict the market's hand first. And that is a never-ending game of just losing. You want the market to show its hand first, so then you just simply follow it. It's literally letting you know what it's going to do first. That's exactly what the market did here. So we already know that we already have the trend in our favor, which is key to then moving on to the next point. Because the next point is going to be area of interest. Now, the area of interest is key because it's where you are interested in actually executing the trade. So AOI is short for area of interest. Now, this area of interest can also be labeled as area of entry, area to buy or sell, area to take the trade. This is the point in the market where we are actually going to execute the trade at. And these points are very key because this is pretty much where you're going to have the overall confirmation that the market is going to reverse from this point right here. So we placed our area of interest right around the neckline of the head and shoulders, simply because it's the most valid area and it makes more sense to sell at that point. You want to have an area of interest that has multiple structure taps like this one, 1, 2, 3 structure taps, strong indication that the market is going to reverse from that point. If we come over here and we look at it in this section right here, you can clearly see we have 1, 2, 3. And if I look more left, 4, 5, 6, 7, this market is obviously very well respected at this area of interest. Whenever we're under, we're selling. Whenever we're above, we're buying. Whenever we're above, we're buying. And clearly, whenever we are under, we're selling. So in this example, we have clearly determined that we are under. So now for the area of interest, we simply have to let the market go back to this area of interest to then retest it. Because again, the area of interest is where we are going to execute the trade at. If we are not at the area of interest, you do not execute the trade. A big mistake a lot of traders make because they're not patient enough to just wait for the market to get there. So where we were on Sunday with NZD/USD was right at this middle ground point right here. I've spotted a bearish market. I've spotted a solid area of interest, and I've identified that now the market is headed into that area of interest, which is great. So now that we are pretty much on the final step, which is going to be the entry signal. And on the entry signal, you can only take the entry signal at the area of interest. You cannot take a trade if it is not at the area of interest. You can have the best entry signal in the world, but if you're not at the entry signal, if you're not at the area of interest, you cannot take the trade. So this is where I pretty much told everybody on the Sunday swings. As you can see right here, I literally wrote this down live. I said, waiting for the trade to go to the area of interest, then we apply the entry signal. So we're about to complete step 2, so then we can go on to the third step. We can't skip the second step and just go to the third, because we have to be at that area of interest. Now, can a trade have a entry signal without it being at the area of interest? Yeah, most definitely. It's happened hundreds of times. And what do? Nothing. I don't take that trade. It's not my trade. It does not follow my system, does not follow my rules. I simply won't take it. Now, if it does happen and I miss it and I could have made X amount of dollars on it, I don't care, because it just simply was not my trade. I only focus on the trades that follow my trading plan, like this one. So on Sunday, I clearly spotted that the market was on its way to that area of interest. And once it gets to that point is where then I would apply the entry signal, so then I can actually execute the trade. Well, if we go down over here, that is exactly what happened. We go down to the 4 hour just to get a better zoom in and get a better clear understanding of what is going on with this market. And where the market was on Sunday, to give you guys a very direct perspective, was around like this. And I said, I need the market to actually tap that area of interest and reject it in order for then to me look for the entry signal. So then I simply waited about 4 to 8 more hours. Now I've identified that the market is at that area of interest. So now we understand that this point to over here is very valid, and everything is now leading on to the actual entry signal of this market, which is going to be crucial. Because if I have the trend, if I have the area of interest, but I don't have the entry signal, I don't take the trade. I have saved hundreds of thousands of dollars by just waiting for this first step. Because a lot of traders, they wait for the first step, they wait for the second step, but then they get impatient on the third. And it's something that those are the traders that obviously with time, they're going to realize the mistake that they're making, and they're going to fix it, and then obviously have this profitable edge over the market. But I'm trying to save you that time right now and those losses, because they're very unnecessary and there's no way around it other than simply just waiting for the entry signal. So once we've identified that we are at this area of interest, I am simply going to wait for my entry signal, which, to keep it very simple, consists of an engulfing candlestick. That's pretty much it. Now, this engulfing candlestick is clearly what happened right around next right here. And I executed, well, the entry signal, I got it on the lower time frame, such as the 1 hour. And I pretty much entered on this 1 hour engulfing right here. Spread got me in a little bit late. And then after I entered the trade, I literally just set and forget, put my stop loss above the structure point, put my take profit at the previous lower low point, because you want to put your take profit at a spot where if the market hits it, it's going to then obviously have a reaction from that point. I could be super optimistic and then obviously put a humongous take profit like this, and the probability of it hitting will probably happen in the next week or two, but it's not the type of trade that I executed at this point. Because if you notice, if we go out to the daily time frame, you can clearly see that this next zone over here is actually a very strong and very well respected level of support, and resistance. I'm pretty much selling from one resistance and then getting out at the next support, simply because I don't want to be involved in this next reaction that the market is going to be, and I don't want to lose out on the profits that I just made at that point. So if you notice, my take profit was hit to perfection, and my theory of this area giving the market a reaction has literally come true. So the market pulled up to this area and it just simply repeated the same pattern once again, which is going to be have a reaction from this area. When we're above it, we're heading up. When we're under, we're going down. At this very moment, we are above it, so we had a reaction. So I want to get out right before that reaction from that market, and that's exactly what we did. So I risked about, I'd say like $50,000 more or less on this trade. Obviously spread and then the commission, all that stuff, you kind of have to factor it in. But it did give me a positive risk to reward of a 1 to 2.2 risk to reward, which is obviously on the low end of what I usually risk. I'll typically be risking anywhere from like $80,000 to about $120,000 per trade, because I'm only taking trades that are just like this one. And trades just like this one don't come very often. And when they do, I'm gonna make sure that I put up the risk that I have ready for it. but I'm coming out from, traveling all around the world and stuff. So kind of getting back in the rhythm of the market. That's why I challenged myself with doing this live stream with you guys. And, perfect timing. I did the live stream, gave this perfectly simple trade and very, very clear on how effective it is. And what I just did with this trade, and on that live stream this previous Sunday, literally 3 days ago from me recording this video and this trade actually executing, is what I do every single Sunday with all of my students. I get on a call that I pretty much named it Sunday Swings, because we analyze all of the markets for the upcoming week ahead, and I break down my top 2, top 3 pairs that I'm going to be trading in that very week. I explain to the traders the exact reason on where I'm looking to enter, where I'm looking to exit, and I'm literally sharing with them my exact trade. So all of my students are having the same results as me. And that's where the set and forget strategy comes in, where it lets traders make anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a week using the set and forget strategy within their first 3 months of trading. And I think the most valuable point of being a student of mine and getting access to the set and forget strategy are these weekly calls that I have with my students for life. And it lets them make anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a week using my set and forget strategy. And you're probably wondering what set and forget is and you want to know more about it, click the link in the description below. I have a video there for you that explains to you absolutely everything and what it consists of and how it lets students make thousands of dollars every single day following my trades and being part of one of the most successful communities out there in the trading industry. So if you want to know more about set and forget and what it is, click the link in the description below. I appreciate you guys watching this video all the way to the end. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.